The keys felt heavy in my palm as I stood in front of my new house, a two-story colonial tucked away in a quiet suburb of Washington. Fresh white paint, a neat lawn, a maple tree casting its shade over the porch, picture perfect. New life, Daniel, I muttered to myself, pushing the door open. Inside smelled faintly of old wood, and something sweet. The realtor had called it charming. The living room had a brick fireplace, the kitchen was old-fashioned but cozy, and there were 4 bedrooms upstairs. But there was something odd. The floor plan the realtor emailed me showed 5 rooms upstairs. One had no window and was connected to the far left bedroom. I checked every inch but found no extra door. 3 nights later, a sound woke me, a faint, rhythmic knocking. I thought it might be the wind. But it came from the bedroom wall, right where a heavy wardrobe stood. I turned over, trying to ignore it, until I heard a faint giggle. A child's giggle. The next evening, curiosity got the better of me. I decided to move the wardrobe. It was heavier than it looked, sliding across the floor with a slow, scraping groan. And there it was, a door. It had been painted over in the same off-white as the wall. The hinges were rusted, the knob cold to the touch. My pulse quickened as I wedged a screwdriver into the gap and pried it open. A narrow hallway stretched ahead, the air thick with dust and that same sweet scent I'd noticed on day 1. At the end, a small bedroom. Pink bedding on a child's bed. A wooden chair in the corner. Books with yellowed pages stacked neatly. Drawings taped to the walls, stick figures, a sun, a house. On the nightstand sat a stuffed teddy bear and a music box. When I touched the box, it began to play on its own, a slow, haunting lullaby. Who lived here? I whispered. I didn't enter the room the next day. But that night, something woke me again, a soft click, like a latch being shut. I walked to the hidden door. It was open. I was sure I'd closed it. I decided to set up my old DSLR camera on a tripod facing the bed inside that room. In the morning, I reviewed the footage. At exactly 3:17 a.m., the teddy bear's head turned, slowly, toward the camera. This has to be a prank, I muttered, though my voice shook. Later, I mentioned it to my neighbor, Mrs. Hanson, an elderly woman who'd lived here for decades. Her smile vanished. You know who lived here before you, don't you? I shook my head. She told me about the Millers. They'd had a daughter named Lily who vanished in 1985. The police searched for months. No trace. That was her room, Mrs. Hanson whispered. They never found her. That night, I set the camera again. This time, a shadow appeared in the footage, the silhouette of a child standing by the bed, motionless for over a minute before fading away. The next morning, I searched the basement. In the far corner, I found an old wooden trunk. Inside, stacks of newspapers, faded photographs, and a small diary. The handwriting was uneven, childish. He said I won't see Mommy again if I tell. But I'm scared. The room gets darker when he comes. My hands went cold. When I returned upstairs, something new was on the wall in Lily's room, fresh crayon drawings. One showed a faceless man holding a little girl's hand. The following night, I awoke to a whisper. Daniel. It was soft, right by my ear. My heart pounded as I grabbed my phone's flashlight and pointed it toward the door. The hidden room's door was wide open. Inside, the teddy bear was sitting upright on the bed, but its head was facing away now, toward the far wall. The music box began to play, without me touching it. Lily? I whispered, barely aware of why I was speaking to empty air. A cold, small hand touched mine. I jerked back, but there was no one there. Then I heard it, a child sobbing. It grew louder until it filled the whole room. And then, silence. The next day, I couldn't shake the memory of that cold hand. I sat at my kitchen table, reading Lily's diary from the trunk. The final entry stopped me cold. He says I have to stay in the dark room tonight. I don't like the dark. But he says mommy will be mad if I cry. The pages after were blank. I showed the diary to Mrs. Hanson. Her lips pressed into a thin line. The father, she said quietly. Rumor was, he had a temper. Police never proved anything, but people talked. That night, I resolved to stay awake until 3:17. I sat in my bedroom, staring at the wardrobe, phone recording. At exactly 3:17, the wardrobe began to slide on its own, revealing the hidden door. From the darkness inside, a little girl's voice whispered, "Help me." I stepped into the hidden room with my flashlight. Lily's drawings now covered every inch of the walls. But one stood out, freshly drawn in dark red crayon. It showed the same faceless man, standing behind me. The beam of my flashlight flickered. A shadow loomed in the corner, tall and motionless. "Who are you?" I demanded. The shadow didn't move, but the air grew heavier. My flashlight died completely, plunging me into darkness. I heard slow footsteps circling me. Then a man's deep voice, rough like gravel, "She's mine." I bolted out, slamming the hidden door. My heart felt like it was tearing through my ribs. I called the police. They searched the house, even the hidden room, but found nothing. "Old wiring, old floorboards, you're just hearing the house settle," the officer said. But the activity only grew worse. The smell of rot filled the upstairs hallway. Doors slammed on their own. At night, I heard scratching from inside the walls. One evening, I woke to find Lily's teddy bear in my bed. Its glass eyes seemed to follow me. I threw it into the trash outside, but the next morning, it was back on the bed, wearing my watch. I realized then, whatever haunted this house didn't want me to leave. It wanted me to stay. I decided to burn the diary and the bear, hoping to break the connection. I lit a fire in the fireplace, tossing them in. As the pages curled and blackened, a scream erupted from the walls, high-pitched, furious. The whole house shook. Lights burst overhead. I heard pounding footsteps rushing toward me from the hidden room. The fire roared higher, and in the flames, I saw her, Lily, pale, eyes wide, mouthing "thank you." Then she was gone. But behind her, in the firelight, I saw the man, faceless, arms outstretched, stepping toward me. I ran. Out the door. Into the street. I didn't look back. I never went back for my things. I sold the house to the bank at a loss, no questions asked. A month later, I saw an article online, "Local family moves into historic Washington home." A photo of smiling parents and their young daughter in front of my house. In the picture, standing just inside the upstairs window, was a shadow. Tall. Faceless. And next to it, a small girl holding a teddy bear. I closed the laptop and told myself never to speak of it again. But sometimes, at night, I still hear that lullaby.